To the left, I am looking for the two opposite sides, okay? And there's only two when you're talking about a prism. I always want you to kind of shade in those opposite base sides. So this is a triangular base, and this is your triangular base right here. And notice it is base with a capital B because we're talking about the area of that whole triangle. When you find perimeter, you are taking perimeter of your base. So when you are finding perimeter, it is the perimeter of your base. So let's find what this perimeter is. Okay, it would be this side plus this side plus this side all together. And we would add those up. So this side plus this side plus this side. Then we would multiply that times the height, and the height is the distance between your two bases. Okay, that is your height right here. Went too big. Height. So perimeter, distance around times height, and that works for any prism, triangular or rectangular. Same thing for what we call a circular prism, but we don't call it a circular prism, we call it a cylinder. So the lateral area is the perimeter times the height, but if you think about your circle, the perimeter is the distance around. We had a special name for the distance around a circle. Does anybody remember what this is called? Not diameter. Circumference. Circumference is like the fence around the circle. Circumference. So that is your perimeter. And does anybody remember what circumference formula is if we give you the radius? What is it? C is equal to pi times diameter, or C is equal to 2 pi r. So your perimeter right here is circumference 2 pi r times h. And remember, h is the height in between your two bases. Now, what did I forget to do here? I forgot to shade in these bases. And this is going to be your height. It says P on the top. Perry, down here? Is that what you're talking about? Okay, 2 pi r times h. Now, in both of these, that is only, where did my other thing go? That is only the lateral area, the side area. In order to get the whole surface area, that is your side and the two bases. So surface area is equal to, nice to meet you, Mr. Hungry, lateral area plus the area of your two circles. Because you have a top circle, that's a base, and a bottom circle, that is a base. So where the lateral area that we just found was 2 pi r, oh man, this is really bad. Not working very well today. Times h plus the area of two circles. You have two of them, so it's 2 times the area of a circle is pi r squared. Now, you will be given all of these formulas, but you have to also know what is an R if you're talking about a cylinder. R here is the radius from the center out. Okay? Where do I find the height? If you're talking about the height of a prism, it is the height in between your two base areas. Okay? All right. Let's turn the page. Let's get to some actual examples. So, first thing, if you have a prism which stands upright, I want you to shade your two capital B bases. I want you to shade in those bases. Okay, first of all, I am going to make this three-dimensional. So you can see this has a back side. And I want you to shade in the top and the bottom because they are both opposite each other and they both have the same shape. Okay? L stands for lateral area. We need to find the perimeter times the height in between those two bases. The perimeter is the distance around. So this is my base, and I need to find the distance around the bottom. So that is going to be 12. This is my perimeter. 12, let's go in this direction, plus 3, plus this back side, which is still 12, plus this side, which is also 3. Add those together, and you get 30 feet. That is the perimeter of your base. So that goes in for capital P. The height is the height in between your two bases. So as I look at this, the height in between, I just covered it up, is 8. So the height is 8 in between those two bases. So once you have the perimeter of your base multiplied by the height, multiply those two together, you get 240 feet. Always put your units there. Since it is area, it's feet squared. And remember, this is lateral area, so it's just the sides. We aren't talking about the top and the bottom base yet, just the sides. Any questions on that? Find the two bases, find the perimeter around one of the bases, multiply by the height in between the two. Now we need to find surface area. Well, surface area is just your lateral area, which is the sides, plus your two bases, the top and the bottom, right? Whatever that shape happens to be. So surface area is equal to the lateral area, which you just found to be 240, plus the area of two rectangles, because our bases are in the shape of a rectangle. Does anybody remember what the area of a rectangle is? Like what the formula is? If I have a rectangle like this, well, no. It is length times width. Yeah. So L times W. So we have 240 plus we have 2. As you look at these rectangles, what is the length, the long side here? What is this length right here? That is 12. And what is your width right here? That is 3. So 2 times your rectangles, which is 12 times 3. Because you have 2 of them. So 240, that 240 just keeps coming down because we found that a while ago. 2 times 12 times 3 is 36 times 2, which is 72. Add those two together and you get 312 feet. This is area, so it is squared. It is a lot. These problems will have a lot of small calculations, and you have to understand them pretty well.
Is this going to be like pretty common on the test?
Yes.
Wow.
We give you the formulas, but again, you have to know what those formulas mean. So we tell you for a prism, first of all, you have to recognize it as a prism when we show you the picture. And then you have to know, how do I find perimeter and how do I find the height in between the bases? All right, let's take a look at the second one. So first of all, this is a prism. It tells you it is a prism. That means it has 2 bases. I want you to shade the bases. Okay? Shade in your bases first. So whenever you're finding surface area, you're going to find the lateral area first. Lateral area of a prism is capital P times H. Capital P times H. Ugh, it's not what I wanted. Capital P times H, where capital P is your perimeter. So now let's find the perimeter of this base. So that is the distance all around. A prism, that's what we call these 3-dimensional things that have a straight up and down height. This is a prism. Okay? That triangular thing, that is a prism. Because the sides, the distance in between goes straight up. Okay? All right, so perimeter. This bottom is 8. We are not given these 2 sides, unfortunately. However, we do see that this is a right triangle. If you look right here, they give us this, and they tell us that is 3 centimeters. They also show that this is a right angle. This is an isosceles triangle, which you may or may not know. These 2 sides are congruent, which means this bottom side is going to be split into 2 equal parts. So from here to here is 4, and from here to here is 4. So I am going to take this triangle and blow it up down here so it's bigger. It's not to scale, but say that this side is 3, this side is 4. I have a right angle here. What formula that we just learned can I use to find that other side of the right triangle? That would be Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. You can make A and B your legs, remember? They make the L shape, and this is your C. So substitute 3 in for A. That's 3 squared plus 4 squared equals C squared. 3 squared is 9 plus 4 squared is 16. That is C squared. Add these 2 together. C squared is equal to 25. Take the square root. So C is 5.
Wait, so you're telling me like...
Now this is not, I don't think it gets quite this difficult on the test. This is a lot. This is a lot. So what does that mean? That means this side is 5 and the other side is just like it. So this side would be 5. So when I am finding the perimeter of that triangle, which is your base, the capital B base, perimeter of the triangle, that is 8 plus 5 plus 5, which is 18. You're finding the distance around the base. So your perimeter here is 18. The height is the distance between your two bases. Here's a base and here's a base. I need to know what is the distance between them. What is that distance in between? What is this distance right here?
12.
It is 12. So you multiply by that height, which again is the distance in between, and I don't know, what is 18 times 12? That'd be great. 216. Measurement is in centimeters, and that is area, so it is squared. That is just the lateral area. So that is just the sides right here. We now need to find surface area, which is going to add these two bases. So this is the last little bit here. Surface area is lateral area plus your two bases. Your lateral area we just found is 216 plus what shape are my bases? What shape is this? What shape is this? What shape is that? A triangle. So you have to find the area of your two triangles. I know, I told you this was a lot. So that is 216 plus 2 times the area of a triangle is 1/2 times the base of the triangle times the height of the triangle. When you multiply 2 times 1/2, all of these are going to cancel out, the 2's and the 1's, and you're left with base times height. So that is 216 plus the base of the triangle. Look at the whole triangle. I know. That is 8, and the height of the triangle itself is 3. So add 24 to 216 for a final answer of 240.
Is this worse than Sokoto?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
You can't tell?
yeah.
240 centimeters squared. That is the entire surface area of that triangular prism. So let me just repeat some basics. Before I do, homework number 3 is due on Wednesday. Homework number 2, sorry, thank you. I tell you, it has been a day. Homework number 2 is due on Wednesday, okay? That is all surface area. When you have prisms, find your two prisms. Girls, please sit down. Find your two bases, okay? Shade in those bases. Find the perimeter, the distance around one of the bases, and multiply it times the height. Okay, that's your lateral area. Then add your two area bases that are the top and the bottom. And that's how you find surface area.
Yeah, but
There's a lot. There is a lot. All right, you guys really did a great job for it being last period of the day, for it being a Friday, for me being out of it. So I appreciate your patience. I would really appreciate it if you would, on your way out, please pick up the calculator that is at your desk and just kindly drop it off in the calculator caddy. That would be greatly appreciated. Those of you that are juniors or are maybe going to prom, please have a great time. Please be careful. Enjoy yourself. It is supposed to be a lot cooler tomorrow and rainy though. So have fun. Be smart. Make good choices because I would love to see you all back on Monday. What? What? You know, you never know. Life, you never know when it's your time. And I'm not saying I'm just saying be careful. Be careful. All right.